vision I had for the United States Championship, I am seeing it clear as day now. Nobody's stopping me. And if John Cena thinks he is, he's out of his damn mind. He goes, you're confident. So go out there and be confident like I know you are.
That whole gimmick with like taking the selfie in the ring, like you legitimately did take some pretty great photos.
I don't need people to believe in me. That's a proven factor that I don't. And I've always shown that.
Yeah, so good to see you, bro. And congrats on everything that's going on.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate it. It's good to see you, man. You're doing your thing.
Well, thank you. I'm just trying to keep up with you. I mean, come on. The last time we did an interview together was like the start of 2019. And you manifested what's happening right now. You manifested this match with John Cena.
Yeah, it's so funny you bring that up too, because this is the that interview you're speaking of specifically. That's the one that's floating around all over the place right now, just because of this. Yeah, it was definitely manifested for sure.
Like, I feel like you weren't just talking about like, oh yeah, I want a match with Cena because he was the top guy. You want a match with Cena because you feel like you deserve a match with Cena, and I love that about you.
Yeah, and it's funny because all of that is it's kind of tying into how I feel now, and that's feeling inevitable. Because when I really look at the timeline of how long I've wanted to do this since I was 8, I said I would be in WWE, and when I did that interview with you, I said I would face John Cena. Like I wanted to come after him. That's the guy I wanted, and here we are, WrestleMania 39, man.
What made you feel like when you're 8 and you say, I want to be in the WWE? A lot of 8-year-olds say that, but what made you feel like it was actually possible for you to do that?
I think it was just one of those things where I don't know if you've had an experience where you just completely know you've got it. And it just felt that way at 8. Like there was no, man, but what if I don't grow up to be tall enough? Or what if I don't grow up and I'm not strong or I don't have this? Like it was none of that. I just knew it. And it was like 8, 10, 12, 15, 17, 20, 25. It just never changed. And I'm grateful to be able to have that mindset and stay, in that one lane, especially, since I was 8. But
Right.
it was a constant drive to just, make sure that it was going to happen.
So if that's what you were manifesting when you were 8, what are you manifesting now at 25 for the next 5, 10, 15 years?
Man, I got to really think about this because I know in 5 to 10 years, this interview will come up and I will be right again. Honestly, I will say just really being at the top of the WWE and people really fully understanding that, because I get it right now. I'm making my climb to stand at the top of that mountain, but I think once you get to the top of that mountain, it's about staying there. So I would say I'm manifesting being at the top of that mountain and making sure that nobody gets up there with me.
I love it. So when we did that interview the last time, you hadn't met John Cena yet at that point. He made a very cryptic Instagram post about you, which was so cool to see. But now you have met John Cena. So what was that first conversation with him like?
Man, the first conversation came about, and it's funny because I brought up that photo that he posted on his Instagram. It was at the Performance Center one day, and we were all leaving, and we got told, "Hey, just everybody stay. We're gonna have a little meeting before everybody leaves." And out comes John Cena, and he took the time out of his day to come down there and talk to everybody that's aspiring to be on the main roster. And a lot of us weren't even on NXT TV then, so this was the very beginning for me. And he told us, I'll answer any questions you guys have, but if there's anybody that wants to talk to me, personally, I'll stay here all day. I'll go in this room in the office, and you guys one by one can come in there. And I remember waiting like 3 hours to talk to him. And I just went in there. And I remember the first thing I showed him was the picture of me as a kid, where I couldn't afford the actual, like the shirt and the wristband. So I made my own kind of off brand stuff. But I was 8 years old and I showed him the picture. I was like, man, this is probably crazy, but check it out. He's like, man, that's not crazy. That's awesome. And we got to sit there, and I kind of just really just asked, everything I could, because this is the source. This is the man that's, held it down for well over a decade. And it was a lot for me to take in though at the time, because he was spitting knowledge, but I'm still, whoa, this is John Cena, so I'm
Yeah.
I'm just trying to take everything in, man. But that moment specifically, I'll never forget. And I just remember like leaving that room that day, like, whoa, like I'm here. Like I met the person that inspired me and motivated me. And now it's on me to build this journey and to actually make it happen. And I know I can do it because I'm the inevitable Austin Theory.
I feel like there's a new attitude since you grew this beard. Like what's changed? What's changed since having a beard?
Man, I guess just growing up, man. Just not being a kid anymore and just really, and it's funny too that you mentioned the attitude because the attitude has certainly changed when it comes to you're the next John Cena. That's something that I used to hear that. Maybe when you interviewed me, that would have been really cool to hear. But now it's something that I don't want because when I've realized as a kid, every day I went to the gym and worked on this dream, and every little thing in between that I did to work on this dream, John Cena was never next to me. He was never
Mm.
standing there inspiring me. It was me. I did it all. And then getting here now and being away from home, doing all these shows, being away from media, appearances. And I love it all. That's why I do it all. And I show up with a smile on my face, but it's me putting in that work and it's me putting in that grind. And that's why everything I do is my own way and my own unique way. And that's why I want to be the first Austin Theory and not remembered as, oh, that's the kid, that's the next John Cena. It's like, no, that's Austin Theory.
Yeah. You did such great work when you were on camera every week with Vince McMahon. And I'm curious to know how much did that fast track you to become a better performer working with Vince week in, week out?
I will say the first thing that hits me when you say that is really just, the first thing he ever said to me was before I went out and I did my first ever thing on Raw. He goes, you're confident. So go out there and be confident like I know you are.
Mm.
And I noticed in my situations with him, there wasn't a lot of time to prepare because these segments would come together so fast and you'd have your promos so last second. So it taught me how to just be, in the uncomfortable. So, expect the unexpected. This is really how it was. And I was just in a situation where it's like, oh man, I really got to figure out like what do I want to say? Like how can I make this really genuine? How do I know what's really going on here? And in those situations, it just prepared me to be ready for anything last minute and just be out of that comfort zone. Because honestly, in the WWE, there's not really a comfort zone. And if you find yourself in one, you're probably not doing what you should be doing.
That moment you had at WrestleMania 38 last year. So you're in the ring, Vince, Stone Cold. And I think that your sell of the Stone Cold Stunner is right up there with the best to ever do it.
I think it is the best. I don't think it's right up there. I think it's right past
I don't
them
know. The
all.
Rock, Scott Hall, they take pretty great stunners.
I mean, we didn't say they didn't, but if what are we going based off of height here? Because your boy was a rocket ship.
What went into that? Because, there's a bunch of ways you could take the stunner.
Yeah. So when I was on the independent scene, I would wrestle and evolve. And sometimes on other shows, if somebody hit me with a stunner, I remember one time I just jumped as high as I could. And just with the roar of the crowd, you want to bring that energy. So I remember being really high in the air, landing on my back, and then I'm flipping and I'm on my feet again, and then I'm flying into the ropes. And I was like, man. And I knew at WrestleMania, the day of, Austin is there's the little golf cart pulling up, and it's right out front of the locker room. And Stone Cold has his back to me, and I go up to him and I'm like, "Hey, how's it going? I just want to introduce myself. I'm Austin." And he's like, "Very nice to meet you. I'll be seeing you later." And then that was it. And I was like, "What?" So that's how that day went. And then I find
Wow.
out, oh, I'm gonna get stunned, and sure enough, and I knew the entire time that that is how I was gonna do it. And I didn't tell anybody because I didn't want anybody, no, don't do that because that'll make this look, like this. Or it's like, nah, I'm gonna take my moment and that's gonna be it.
That whole gimmick with taking the selfie in the ring, you legitimately did take some pretty great photos. And I'm wondering if there's one that you're most proud of.
Man, there's so many. I think one of the funniest ones was when Brock Lesnar put the cowboy hat on my head in the corner. trying to downgrade me. And I just took a selfie with it on. I thought that was a great one. A funny quick story about those selfies though is I guess the phone that I was using is tied to like the company tablet, which I guess like certain people have the tablets, and Wade
Yeah.
Barrett specifically has the tablet. So at NXT every Tuesday after Raw, even from the live events, he would see every selfie that I took. He could see them
Wow.
all. Yeah, so it's cool. But I mean, in some matches, man, I probably took 30. Like it would be a lot of photos. Like I was just clicking away, man. You want to try to get that perfect one, and you're sweating and you just, beat somebody up. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of
Well,
work.
the thing is, you're just looking for one, right? You just need one good one.
That's all you need, man. Just one.
I love that you're wearing the hat right now, representing. When you first heard A Town Down, when you first heard your theme song, what did you think?
Well, the song was actually my idea. I had the idea of some like ring, like, everybody knows once you hear, you think you know me, everybody's pulled in. When you hear
Sure.
the glass break, when you hear, if you smell what the rock's cooking. So I was like, what can I use? And, having Atlanta and being, from Atlanta and going to a wrestling school in Atlanta and starting Austin Theory there, Usher says it best in the Yeah song with Lil Jon, peace up, hey town down. And that was it. I was like, yeah, that's perfect. So I was looking for something that could really engage the audience. So A Town down, get everybody, and then here comes the song. But it was cool. I got to specifically go through, and if you listen to the lyrics, a lot of them are what I'm trying to do and what I'm trying to say I am, like going straight to the top, all day this, all day that. That's it. That's true. So I had a lot of input on the song for sure.
This ride you've been on is so amazing to watch, especially from like the outside looking in for me. Like I knew you before you were signed. Who do you think's helped you the most during this journey?
Man, I always like to say AR Fox. I like to start with him just because, and people that don't know who that is, that's somebody that, he's an independent wrestler as well, but that's the guy that trained me from the beginning and really took me under his wing and sped up the process for me. And I was doing, shows in front of nobody to doing really good shows like with Evolve and WrestleMania weekend independent shows, and then getting noticed by the WWE. But he's definitely somebody I owe a lot to just because of the time he put into me and the limits he was willing to break to go that extra mile for me.
I'm so happy that as we sit here right now, you're back to being Austin Theory. Like, what was the conversation like when you lost your first name and then you got it back?
Yeah, so I remember walking into and this was the time, Mr. McMahon was head of creative. And I remember the writer bringing my promo, and the promo said, I don't call me Austin, it's just Theory. And I was like, what? Like, why, the name's gone? And I was wondering why. And I spoke with Mr. McMahon about it, and he felt that Theory could be a name that stood alone. He felt it had enough power behind it, and also I think he just wanted to get away from that comparison of Stone Cold because we just did the WrestleMania stuff. So I think maybe out of circumstance, that's maybe why it happened. But the funny story about Austin Theory coming back is I just got a text one day, or like that just pretty much said like you're Austin Theory. Like, and then I show up to the show and the matches are on the wall and there was my full name again, and I'm like, I guess I'm Austin Theory again. So I thought it was kind of funny, like that's how I find out. You know what I mean? But I never felt like I guess like negative about it, because Theory just meant the most to me, because I'll always have my first name. People are always going to know me as Austin, but
Right.
Theory was just that name I came up with as a kid. And even as a kid, I was searching for, besides it being a cool name that I came up with and nobody had it, like, how can I give it meaning? And for the longest, Theory was supposed to mean, a theory is unproven. But to me, when you're unproven, that means you're not proven. So you can always get better. If you're somebody that's proven, that's it for you. So me being a
Mhm.
theory, always being able to change, to adapt, to evolve, that's what it's all about. And I still feel like to this day, it still works for that.
One of my favorite stories of spending time with you is after that show, we all went out to eat. We were having chicken wings, fries, whatever. You
Yeah.
demolish it. And then you're like, dude, I got to see the dessert menu. And I'm like, so you get to look like that by eating dessert, and you got the biggest piece of chocolate cake and you destroyed it.
Man, it's so funny you bring up chocolate cake, man, because that's still my thing, brother. That's still my thing.
Is that it? So this is the secret. If we want to look like Austin Theory, all we got to do is eat chocolate cake.
You know what? To all my haters, absolutely. That's true.
What does the
That's it. Eat it
workout,
every day.
what does the workout split look like right now?
So it's kind of the same as it's always been. One thing that I have changed maybe in the last few years is the legs have changed. I don't do legs together anymore. I like to do quads separate from hamstrings. So I
Mm.
have an extra leg day now. But the routine's pretty much the same. I'll go 2 days of upper body parts that I train, and then I'll go a day of lower body, and then 2 days of upper. And it's just simple stuff like chest day, back day, then quad day, then arm day, shoulder day, then hamstring day. And then it's just the rotation just keeps going
And then a whole chocolate cake day. That's it.
every day, probably 6 times a day for all my haters. Make sure you write that part down.
I
Eat that
got a pen
chocolate
right
cake.
here. I'm going to write that down for you.
Just write it on the wall by you, just real big.
You talk about being inevitable. I feel like when you won the Money in the Bank, it was inevitable. You were going to become WWE champion. Why was the decision to cash in for the US title?
Well, I think, I was in a situation where every time I did try to cash in, it wasn't even the bloodline that was stopping me, and that's already its own, fence to try to get around.
Yeah, Tyson
And it
Fury
was
stopped you.
That's what I'm saying, man. How ridiculous, and even that same night, you got to think, like Tyson Fury did that, and then that's when we seen the debut of Solo. So it's one of those things where I was like, man, what can I do? Because I'm kind of stuck. I know that we're gonna be around to the next Money in the Bank coming up. So what can I do? And I looked at Seth Rollins, the guy that had the United States Championship, and I realized like that championship is the championship of Monday Night Raw. It is. And it's on its way of getting to the top. So how can I make that much better? I decided to cash in. And once again, because that's just how my life went when I was Mr. Money in the Bank, Bobby Lashley ruins my moment. And I had enough. I had enough. And I did what I needed to do, and the vision I had for the United States Championship, I am seeing it clear as day now. I'm making it happen. Nobody's stopping me. And if John Cena thinks he is, he's out of his damn mind because after WrestleMania 39, I'm going to go to my show, Monday Night Raw, and John Cena's going to go back to his little set, put on his skirt, put on his heels, and go about his day.
What did you think about him saying, if you win, you lose. If you lose, you lose?
Yeah, I get it. I get it because he wants everybody to believe that I don't have it, that I am screwed. But that is a man that says that because he knows when he looks in my eyes, he knows that I have everything. I do. And he has a legacy. He has so much. Everybody knows John Cena. He's the top of the top. But I think when he looks at me and he sees that I'm 25 and he sees that the level that I'm on and the things that I'm doing and the growth that I'm going at, it's it can't be touched. It really can't be. So you have to look me in my eyes and tell me that if I beat you, that I lose everything. But we all know that's wrong, John, because why if it means nothing, why does he even want to have this match? He wants to have this
Mm.
match because I'm the most important thing in the WWE. I am. And it's clear as day. And there's a lot of people that want to sit there and they want to go like this and go, no, like I don't want to, I don't want to. But then they're gonna have to go, okay, Theory's the guy. They're gonna have to. It's just where we are, man. So him saying me winning me is gonna mean I lose everything. Okay. I can't wait to lose everything when I show up on Monday Night Raw, my show, holding my title, because that's the inevitable. And all those people that he says don't believe in me, I could care less. Guess how many people believed in me when I was 8 when I told them I wanted to be a WWE superstar? Guess how many people laughed at me when I was 12, sitting at the table in school when I told them I wanted to be a WWE superstar? I don't need people to believe in me. That's a proven factor that I don't. And I've
Mm.
always shown that. And if I believe that, I don't think at 25 I would be where I am today. So it is what it is. WrestleMania 39, it's my night, it's my show, and I'm going to own that and I'm going to show that. And that is all day. That is the inevitable.
Man. So after this match with Cena, you look at the entire WWE roster. Who's someone there that you want to work with but haven't had a chance to work with yet?
Roman Reigns, the big dog, the tribal chief, whatever you want to call him. That's it. And maybe Cody Rhodes puts down the tribal chief. That's something that I'm very interested in, because when I've been asked about that match, that is I'm a little caught up there, because I don't know, man. I something tells me Cody might have it, man. I think with enough fire and his dad being brought into this, that's his wheelhouse. That's what the American Nightmares, made after Dusty Rhodes. And I think Roman Reigns bringing that in and saying, hey, your dad taught me and he never talked about you and he didn't teach you anything. Man, that's got to really take, a man to a deep place when that's his root, his fire, his why.
That's two Atlanta guys too.
You know?
You know,
So
makes sense. What do you think's the best piece of advice in this journey that you've been given and then you've taken and ran with it?
something that kind of pops up that it's like the one thing that Mr. McMahon said to me before I ever did anything on Monday Night Raw. And it was the thing about, I know you're confident, so go out there and be confident. And I think that's something that it always sticks in my mind, because it's like, remember that. Remember how confident that kid was at 8. That was 8 and really didn't have anything, and didn't, have a connection to WWE, didn't know how he was going to get there, was skinny, was small, didn't look like a WWE superstar, didn't look like I had the genetics. And it's just that confidence that I had of just knowing and manifesting that. And I think that's something to this day, every time I go out there, remember that confidence, remember that, because that confidence has that, those years of work built in, all the times you went to the gym, all the parties you missed, all the opportunities of, just, I guess, having fun you missed, but really just being on that grind and making this happen at 25 and going to the biggest show there is, the grandest stage, WrestleMania 39, against the guy that you idolized, and that's John Cena. It's confidence, and that's it. Go out there with the confidence that you have.
Looking forward to seeing it. Austin Theory, John Cena, WrestleMania 39 for the United States Championship. Before we wrap this up, gratitude's a big part of my life, so I end every conversation with this. What are 3 things in your life, Austin, that you're grateful for right now?
Man, I'd have to say the position I'm in, just with my work, uh, my body being healthy and being able to do what I can do, and definitely my family, being able to inspire them, especially my little brothers, seeing me, what I do, getting little text messages from them after something I did on TV. That means the world to me. And just knowing that I've created that picture for them. If that confidence isn't there for them right now, it has to be, because I'm showing them their own brother they hang around and joke around with is doing it every single week, and the world's talking about him.
Bro, it's so exciting seeing what you're doing. So good to catch up with you too. Congratulations, man.
Thank you, man. And hey, congrats on all your success as well.
Thank you, man. A lot's changed for both of us since I last saw you.
That's right.
All right, bro. Thank you.
Thank you, man. Good seeing you, dude.